What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be revisiting this Flash, not Flash, I don't know why, I'm just so used to saying Flash anytime I see Doomsday. But Doomsday Lex Control. It's kind of like a token list that I had made using Gotham Riots and Infiltrator Scarab when we got him. And now that we have Send in the Clowns, I thought this was a pretty reasonable inclusion in this deck. The main goal is just prolong the game, get to the late game, and then do things with like Ladama, Appetite, Deathstroke, Darkseid. You're just trying to win the game after you've burned your opponent out of resources. Deck code is in the description below. It'll probably end up being just the code, not the link for now. While Dual Force Tavern gets the newest cards into their database. But as soon as they do, we'll go back to the Dual Force Tavern lists, because I think they're just kind of nice to look at. Nobody likes just getting a word vomit of letters that you can't even really tell what's in the deck. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I think besides the typical Flash Doomsday stuff, the little bit that I have seen from the meta so far has still been skewing fairly aggressively. So I don't know how well this deck is gonna go, but I'm gonna try. Extra hard because we have two non-attacking leaders. Oh, I guess Doomsday's an attacking leader, but 4 Charge doesn't really count as like a board control attacking leader, I guess. I will keep Deimos. I'll put the other two back. We have Clowns. We have Anton. It's looking okay. I'm gonna save the Deimos. We might need to actually use it for something. Probably gonna want to save the Clowns as well, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm also not super angry if we don't like rush the board with this deck. That is one of the best answers I could have had. Although I think that's one of our best answers we could have had. But I also don't know. I don't think it's worth it. We can use Send in the Clowns to help clear the board next turn. And I think I'd rather wait and use it on something a bit more threatening.
I've got an arrow for every occasion.
Like, clearing a 3/3 doesn't do me any good. The odds of Deimos trading up are very low. Front row arrow doesn't change very much, besides allowing them to get some face damage if they want it. Now that's something that might need to get hit with the Ritual Sacrifice. So let's summon some Clowns. Use Ritual Sacrifice on the big boy. Next turn we technically have, if we want Anton as a 4/4, which isn't great, we have that. I think more likely would be like Parasite plus Bigger They Are, maybe? Tough thing is if we do draw our Infiltrator Scarab, that was a mouthful for whatever reason, Green Arrow has a lot of ways to hit him through hitting, so I don't feel great about that. Got to assume that they're going to activate... Alright, Bigger They Are is definitely for Robin. Got to assume Aquaman is going on to the Clown Henchman. Unfortunately, but... Monpa Kent, okay. Best case scenario for me would be the Squid.
I will turn the tide.
Not great. Definitely clear that. Not going to be a great parasite, but I think we just have to clear for now. We're going to need to use Lex to draw some cards soon as well. That's good. And it does hit their Aquaman. Hell of a 50-50.
I've got an arrow for every occasion.
If they were to not swing here, although I assume they're going to swing, but if they were to not swing, Captain Cold would be good. And they got the seahorse. That's bad. Don't think we've got a culling or anything for answers. An Infiltrator Scarab is good for sure. Go Captain Cold into the Scarab. Only problem is I don't think the Scarab's gonna be able to connect with a leader here. You assume Steve trades with Captain Cold. But this was our only way of even attempting to keep Doomsday alive. Depending on how this next turn goes, if somehow we stay alive and Scarab can connect with Face, we can sacrifice one of the Scarabs with Lex, and then we're sitting in a much better position. Or potentially better position. Yeah, all this Aquaman value is real tough to contend with. I think whenever I'm playing a control deck, one of my least favorite leaders to see is Aquaman, even more than like full-on aggro, because he's got all of the pseudo-aggro, big mid-range options that Might has, plus just a insane level of good inevitability. Just because the more he gets charged, these guys get bigger and bigger, and then at some point you just can't answer them anymore. I mean, Bat Cycle does mean this probably gets to connect. So that's good. Unless he hits the 50-50 then, I guess.
I will turn the tide.
That's very good for him to hit as well, though. Let's grab some cards. We're probably going to put an Ant on there. That's really good. Let's get Anton out. Still don't feel great. Green Arrow's charged. He's got an invincible Aquaman, a 6/5 Hunter. If I could somehow draw into my second appetite, that would be insane. We have to save Captain Cold, not for next turn, but the turn after. We also need to start trying to start killing some stuff, if we're being completely honest. Yeah, that Hunter's a problem. If he gets the titanium repeating arrow, the gold one, it's really bad for us. Okay. I would assume they just play back out the shark, since it has Hunter. If they don't play the shark, though, I think I'm just going double Anton, unless I get a really good gold card. Let's see how they finish this turn. As bad as it looks, I'm not completely out of it. I just think we are very not favored at the moment. Yeah, they're going to replay the shark. Which I might, unfortunately, need to hit with this. Just because I don't think I can afford to keep taking those hits. Unless I draw, like, a dark side. No dark side. I think I have to do this.
Time for a hostile takeover.
Look at Anton out. This guy won't be charged yet. Do I just go for a second 10-10? I don't think it's ever going to be bad, necessarily. We have them played apart like this, so that it's harder for Green Arrow to hit both of them. Okay. Double straitjacket. Darkside is a great card to draw here. I don't think they'll use mass arrests again, but if they do, we'll get to replay our Antons. They've actually drawn more cards than we have, which is wild. Gotta figure they're gonna try and answer Captain Cold because it's not good for their Aquaman stunks.
I've got an arrow for every occasion.
And they can really just keep pulling gold arrows as well. They're ahead by so much they don't need to start playing their really good stuff necessarily. I'm actually getting close to being able to activate Lex again. Oh, they got the repeating arrow. That's strong.
I will turn the tide.
Okay. Kind of want to just dark side that so we can start chipping away at Aquaman. This also will have my Ladama ready to go if we draw into her. But I also could just start weakening Green Arrow. You gotta assume they're gonna use their second repeating arrow to try and kill Captain Cold, maybe? Next turn we can use Lex on Anton, get some cards. And cards are options. I don't think I'm running Massacre in this deck. Cyborg is strong. They can get at least 2 procs off, because they have the 1 free arrow, and then if they have another Tactics card. Probably going to need to use Darkside to trade into Cyborg, because Cyborg's just really good. Oh, damn, they had another repeating arrow. That's really strong. You could technically just poke Anton. Yeah. I don't think I can afford to Lex on Cyborg here. That would be really bad. Unless I get a really good top deck draw. Like Friends wouldn't quite do it for me. I also can't leave him up because he's doing a lot of work. That's solid. I really need some card draw. And I'm actually going to just keep getting chipped down by this squad car, because you got to assume Green Arrow can clear the board. Cool. Yeah, another Aquaman trigger. That's, what, 4 now? I can't keep up with that.
I've got an arrow for every occasion.
Even if I, like, pull Ladama, like, we'll clear the board one time and they just keep answering us. I assume Aquaman's gonna activate. There's no reason not to. Not even for the attack, although that's a nice bonus. Oh, he got another Seahorse. Well, now I'm gonna have to hit that unless we top deck exactly Ladama, and even then, I don't think I'd want to use Ladama on this. It's 5 activations. The fact that we're not already dead, I mean, we're dead, but like the fact that we're not already actually dead is pretty stunning. Honestly, the mass arrest is what did it for them, I think. The board that I had before we got mass arrested, I think was enough to win the game. Just having that mass arrest there was incredible. But that's why they run it in the deck. They want to have it. And they've drawn a lot of cards. It's not like it's, like, ridiculous. Bursting boom tubes. That's just going to get me killed, but...
Time for a hostile.
I think we basically need to, like, draw into something that can remove that. Bizarro is funny, but he does not help. I'll play that out, and then I assume we die next turn. Because this guy activates absolutely away from him, clear the front row, and then he attacks with those two. Steve works too. What are they doing? Am I being trolled? I feel like I'm being trolled. How wild would it be if I Bizarro'd here? Let's see if I can get some different options first before I start getting wild with it. Did not get any better options here. It's like, how insane is Bizarro? I'm gonna do it. Oh, he has to be in the back row. Never mind. That's actually, that might be better. That might be smarter. 10-6 with shield blocking my guy.
I will turn the tide.
Oh, he had an arrest. Alright, so we fought through, honestly, what was that, 3 seahorses? Because one of them got bounced. And all of that nonsense, and still almost came out ahead. So that's pretty solid. I know it didn't look good, like the results on the board don't look solid. But sometimes you have to realize what you're going up against. And like, Aquaman is probably a top 3 leader in the game. Especially going long like we did there. Especially going long with the boxing arrows hitting their 50-50s and drawing Steve multiple times. So, like, going into 6 activations with Aquaman is nuts. So, I know it looks bad, but, like, when I'm evaluating decks, that is a promising thing to me. That it took all of that and mass arrests on that turn to not win that game. Sometimes your losses give you good information. Even though this isn't my ladder deck for the season, I'm still tracking all of my games this season. I don't really know why. But I figured the climb is going to be shorter since we start at 25, so might as well just, you know, track whatever I'm playing. Wonder Woman Flash. So now we're going to get the complete other end of the spectrum, where this is probably just going to be massively fast. This is a pretty decent hand for that. We've got 2 different ways to go wide. We have a removal option. We have a 50-50 removal option. I feel okay about this. Since I go first, I'm going to start with partners. Reason for partners is if they play like a Max Mercury, we have a clean trade into it. And I think that's probably the kind of area where we want to be right now, is taking some clean trades. I don't really know what we would be in the business of indoctrinating. Warlord. Kinda wish I went Gotham Riots instead here. Oh, that kind of works. I don't think it's worth using Two-Face on quite yet. So we whiff a bit there, which leaves Lex open to a lot of damage. But that's just an unlucky roll of the cards. You know, you had a 1 and 3 into a 50-50. So your odds there total are something like 65 to 75%-ish to get a blocker. Might even indoctrinate that, if I'm being honest. We'll see.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Ready to race?
Alright, we're using Flash to clear. Do they use Wonder Woman to clear? They do. Alright. Let's try the Two-Face. Worst case scenario, we draw a card. Play some Rioters. I think this is fine. I'm getting close to having Lex charged, so having some tokens on the board is solid. We are 2 turns away from Reverse Flash. I feel like Indoctrinate's going to be a big card this next turn. Although I might want to save it for whatever they buff with Wonder Woman. Although, Superboy is a problem. Yeah, I think we're just going to Indoctrinate that. And then we'll play Friends. Ares is fun. I think it's probably just Darkseid though. And then we will take all the damage we can get on Wonder Woman. This gets her in Doomsday range. It also gets her in Reverse Flash range, depending on what we go for next turn. We have Darkseid to clear out this space if we need to. We have Lex to clear out that space if we need to. We have Lex to draw some cards if we need to.
Ready to race?
May the gods grant us their favor.
Got to play some cards first, man. Oh, alright, that's game. Alrighty, so that was a much better example of controlling the board, getting some early pressure, doing the things that this deck wants to do. I just think that we got an opponent that is much better at going long than we are. And we saw that example in the first game where they kicked our teeth in. But yeah, I still think this is a fun control deck. Going wide is not something you see a lot in this game with all those token cards, so it's also a fun, different way to play the game. I would definitely say consider giving it a shot. I don't think it's a top-tier control deck, but I think it's a functional one that you could ladder with because it's strong enough to win. And that's really all you need, is something you're good enough to to win, 50% of your games, and you'll climb. But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.